Hey guys. Here, one sec. Gotta fix something. Just ran my ran my chair over a fan cord. Had to fix it. We got 2 people so far. Hello, 2 people. How are you doing? Say hi if you're so inclined. Today represents the second stream where I'm attempting this new approach to music that will hopefully not get me flagged. Basically just making a keyword, or sorry, a playlist based on typing in a keyword. Hey, Mark. And in the YouTube sound library, so far results are mixed, but I haven't gotten any flags, so that's good. I just typed retro. I tried video game and it was all like dance music. Retro, I feel like some of that's gonna come up, but it was a bit longer playlist, maybe a bit more variety. How you doing, Mark? Are you the one that suggested Mario in the first place? I feel like it was either you or Billy, but I couldn't remember for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and dive into it. I have a reasonably clear idea of what I want to do. I got one element of it. The angle might be a bit tricky. Not tricky as in hard to draw, but tricky in finding the happy medium that's not gonna overtake the space on the page. But we'll see. All right. Well, it wasn't you, Mark, but either way, glad you're here. I know you were talking because I think Mario and Zelda came up at the same time. And I think you were part of the conversation, but not the one to actually suggest it, obviously. Okay, I don't mind what I'm doing with this, but I think I gotta move it up a bit higher. No lower than normal. Is that better? Or was I just too far away from the mic? Or is the music just too loud? I could turn the music down if that's the issue. I moved the mic closer. If it's still too quiet, I'll turn the music down. Huh. That include the music or just to hear my voice? Hey, Michelle. I feel like the music is a bit loud. Why don't I turn that down a tiny bit? Or actually, hang on. Even just turning it down on my headset might help with that. Oh, that made a huge... Oh. I don't know. Is that better? I feel like that might be better. Let me know. Yeah, I haven't messed with my sound settings at all. So I don't know what that's about. But then again, I never messed with my video settings either, and apparently the resolution dropped. You pointed out a couple weeks ago. Hey, Max. Yeah. Well, I think I was saying too that I was finally thinking like, okay, I gotta upgrade the internet, and then I had that weird, found out that I was being overcharged at TELUS. I'm like, hey, I guess let's just get that thing working first, and then we'll address it. So I will bite the bullet and do. I mainly just don't want to have to deal with scheduling them to come and all that kind of shit. That's what's making me put it off more than anything. How are you, Max? You haven't been around for a while. You fucking finished? How has it been a year now? This does not compute, Max. I've been good. A bit sweatier than normal, but other than that, I've been pretty good. Some slight adjustments. Hey, Parker. Well, you might remember last week doing the Merida drawing. The paper was curling because of my sweat on the paper, so. This week, today, hopefully it won't be as bad. Oh, you're okay. Well, yeah, so it kept, every time I took my hand off the paper, it would fall off because it was curling like that, so it would never sit properly on the lip. Okay, third time's a charm. We're getting that height and size right in relation to this creature. You might already have some ideas of what I'm drawing so far. There's more to come. Reload the pencil. Yes, I actually got it this morning. And honestly, it's a lot shorter than I really meant for it to be. in fairness, the guy did like hold up my hair and was like this much, and I was like, yeah, but just my hair had gotten so extra long that I felt like it needed to be um, taken down a fair bit. So I was like, yeah, yeah, that seems right. And then when he was done, I was like, shit, this is practically a buzz cut. I'm like Forrest Gump right now. But my hair grows pretty fast. It'll probably look like it did before in a week or two. Sorry about this little sidetrack. Reloading the pencil here, guys. Alright, we're going to do a little bit more surgery down here. I like what I drew, but we can improve it. And then we'll rough in the star players. Oops, should probably push this button a few times before I start drawing. Thanks, Max. Pretty much. Well, I mean, once they cut it, you're kind of... But really, it wasn't the barber's fault. Like I said, I basically told him... Like, he checked with me, and I was like, yeah, that's okay. And I didn't fully appreciate how short it was going to actually look once it was done. So... I've gone to this barber a few times since I moved, and he was sort of like... I never know exactly how long to describe the ideal length, and he just seems to figure it out. This is the first time I've been like, oh, that's shorter than I wanted. But... Hey, Chantel. Also, hi, JC. Didn't actually say that. Ta. See what you did there. Well, Park will probably appreciate it more. Since I didn't quite grow up on Mario to the same extent. That YouTube video that Billy shared on the Discord of the Do the Mario, like, I totally forgot that existed, but as soon as I saw it, I remembered it. It's so cheesy. He's barely even moving and shit. Maybe. Maybe. Just gonna have to wait and see there, Chantal. See, this is what I knew. The poses aren't gonna be tough. It's the placement to make everything not destroy everything else. That's the tough part for this image in my head. I feel like I might have told this story before. So, okay, I liked Mario. I watched the cartoons. I don't even mind the live action movie. I think it's a shitty Mario movie in that it's not Mario at all. But as a pulpy sci-fi fantasy B movie, I think it's actually kind of fun. It makes no sense. It's not a good movie, but I think it's fun. And I loved it, especially as a kid. And I played the games at friends' houses and stuff, but I was a Sega kid, so I played more Sonic than I played Mario. But I went on like vacation with my mom one summer, just for like a weekend or something, to I think it was the Shoe Swaps, where I think a friend of hers or somebody had like a vacation home there, or maybe they lived there. I don't know what the story was, but we went there for a little while, and I don't think there was any other kids there. And on the way, like McDonald's was having a Mario promotion, so they had the McDonald or the Mario toys that you could get. And I know I had one of Luigi on a cloud. It was one of the ones you like pull back and then you let it go and it like goes forward on wheels. And I had Mario in his raccoon gear. And he was one of those ones where you like the suction cup and the spring, so you stick him down and then he like pops and jumps really high, and it didn't work worth shit. I had a Chuck E. Cheese one that worked amazing. I think would go to the moon, but the Mario one was terrible. And so we got those along the way, and then there weren't kids that I remember other than myself there, but I think they had kids that just weren't there that weekend for whatever reason. But they set me up in like the guest room with Nintendo, and I played a shit ton of Mario. I don't even know which one it was, but I played a shit ton of it while I was there. And for whatever reason, before that, I never really showed much interest in video games. But after that, I did. But I also, for some reason, even though I was playing Mario, I had it in my hand. I don't know if it was a friend or commercial or what the hell it was, but I had in my head that Sega was the one to go for. So that. Suddenly, I wanted a video game for Christmas, but it was Sega that I was asking for. And that is the Mario story. Oh, in the movie? I don't think I knew that, Parker. Yes. It is 100% a terrible Mario movie. I don't think any way you slice it, because even if you love the movie, it's sure as shit not Mario. But okay, now I'm gonna change. But I did think it was fun. Yeah, apparently. Apparently the whole production was a gong show. Also, Parker, I just realized you said objectively, not subjectively. So I guess, yeah, you weren't really disagreeing with me. That's unquestionably a terrible Mario movie. I didn't think the Sonic movie was great, but I gotta say, I did think it was a lot better than I was expecting going into it. It's actually very much a 90s movie. Like, it's like a 90s road trip movie, you know? And I also undoubtedly would have loved the shit out of it if I saw it when I was a kid. As an adult, I didn't love it, but I thought, I've seen worse. But they didn't always yield bad results, though, Fox. Oh, I definitely agree with that, Fox. Like, there was definitely a lot of. I mean, I think a better Sonic movie would have been 100% animated and leaned a lot more into the fantasy of it. I will 100% support that it was a lot of wasted potential, but I also went into it expecting it to be just unforgivable. And the fact that I was entertained and not ripping my hair out, wasted potential or not, was kind of exciting. The key word for tonight's playlist, by the way, was retro. I'm actually getting more Sonic vibes, to be honest, for some of the Sonic levels than I am Mario. But I'll take it. It was a gamble. Any keyword I was going to put in was going to be a gamble, so. Try to think of how I want to have this posed here. Oh, definitely, yeah. And I think that if they gone with that original design, it would have been really hard to connect with them at all, and whatever merits the movie did have, I think would have gone out the window. I think that design was key. You're right, Fox, but I'm basically I'm a slave to YouTube's sound library, so I don't need to worry about getting flagged, because everything I've been playing for the last several months has been listed as royalty free, and yet when I try to post it on YouTube, it gets flagged. It says copyright infringement. So I'm sticking to this now, for the time being at least. I wasn't going for that, Chantel, but I can definitely see it. Question: Princess Peach ever have any kind of weapon? I mean, in the movie she had a machine gun at one point, but I'm assuming she never had that. Did she ever have a sword or anything? A lacy parasol? I might give her the machine. I was debating the machine gun. Alright, let's give her the machine gun. It's gonna be a somewhat fantasy machine gun though, because I don't have reference handy and I don't feel like looking it up. Okay, I'm not going to commit to that 100% because I don't know what I'm going to do with her hair. I might want to move it for the silhouette. kind of like the idea of giving her the parasol and the machine gun, though. I don't know what arm to put it in, though. Oops. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give her both. Just not thinking about how I pose that, though. Maybe. No, okay, I guess I can do this. Something like that, and then it's gonna go like that, and it's gonna end up over there. Alright. Let's do it. I don't know where I got that "duh" from. It's from something. Every once in a while, I channel it. What's everybody else's history with Mario? Or do we all grow up with it? Even though I didn't play it to the extent of a lot of people, I definitely was a part of my growing up. Undeniably. And that cartoon. With those really weird and somewhat creepy live action interludes. And also apparently Elvira guest starred on that one time as well. And the game she used a frying pan, Mark? You can see him going cartoony, but not exactly the same style as the actual game. Although I'm going to pull back that nose a little bit. Maybe a bit. Alright, and that nose also changes the stash. Hey, Centane. I don't even know what Mario Sunshine is, actually. Mario Kart counts, yeah. I played a decent amount of that myself. Pencil's being weird too. That is a very good question, Centane. How is everybody today? Are we up to anything as we watch today? What's everybody doing? I'm off and running now. I got my cartoony to realism ratio figured out here. Gonna move that arm for silhouette purposes. Instagram highlights. I can vouch for Castlevania. I've heard nothing but good things about Invincible, but I haven't watched it yet. I will try to get on that soon, though, because once I get going full force on my comic again, I probably won't be watching. Well, actually, I'll be watching a lot, but only shows I don't mind drawing during. Making some subtle changes to some of these costume pieces. Oh, cool. I did get a haircut, Centane. There's a few animated shows that I caught up on that I want to fully watch too and not drawing during. Like there's Invincible. There's also, I want to finally watch Rebels, and I've been hearing good things about the Bad Batch also. Yeah. Thanks, Intane. It's shorter than I wanted, though. I was saying earlier, I wanted to go shorter than it was. I didn't quite intend to go this kind of Forrest Gumpy level, but whatever. Bad Batch I'm kind of purposely saving for when it's done. Because I think it's still coming out weekly, or maybe it actually is done by now. I'm just behind, I don't know. Were you liking it, Parker? I know she said was, not is. Okay. And did you not love Clone Wars either, or? I like going along with a series in that I'll watch the seasons as they come out. I don't necessarily like to do week to week. I do it for some of the shows that are doing that now, just to avoid spoilers, like the Marvel shows and stuff. But well, okay. So with the shows I am doing week to week, there's like on the one hand, it's annoying because I feel like I'm a bit of a slave to it. Like, if I don't want to get spoiled, I gotta watch it right away, right? Like last week, I forgot about Loki on Wednesday night, and then I had stuff going on, so I couldn't do it the next day. Watch it the next day, and then could have watched the day after, I think, but then I didn't for some reason. And I was kind of living in fear of spoilers the entire time, and that kind of sucks. But if I was waiting for it to finish to binge it, then I'd be waiting for like a free weekend or something, and that doesn't always happen either. So there's pros and cons there. So I haven't watched Bad Batch obviously at all yet, Parker, but like Clone Wars is a pretty good show. The first season or two or season and a half or whatever takes a little bit that you gotta get through, but overall it's a pretty good show. So if you watch that, maybe you would have a different opinion on it. So I'd consider it, giving it a shot. Clone Wars was actually a drawing show for me, just because it was like getting a little daunting finding the time to watch it. Not because I wasn't enjoying it, but just because it was at the time that I started it, I was in the midst of a project, and I was like, oh, let's start Clone Wars. And then just because I happened to notice it was on Netflix, and then I kind of regretted it because I was so wrapped up in what I was working on that I wasn't really coming back to it that often. And then I kind of just was like, ah, fuck it, and I turned it on while I was drawing and finished it. But because of that, I definitely don't think I have quite the same. Like, I think I followed the Star Trek shows pretty well as a drawing show, but I think, especially being animated, it's so visually oriented, you know? Of Clone Wars? Oh, on Loki. Oh, cool. Have you been watching it, Michelle? Uh, yeah, I'm looking forward to Black Widow. I probably would have been more looking forward to it if we didn't get delayed and then delayed and then delayed and delayed it again. I also think they should have made a Black Widow movie 5 years ago, but better late than never. fair enough. Yeah, probably also part why I can keep up with it as well as a drawing show partner. I didn't hate Captain Marvel though. A lot of people like this shit on it. I was okay with it. Like if we had to do one or the other, I would probably agree with you, but I feel like we could have more than one female-driven superhero in the MCU as well. And I'm not putting words in your mouth, Parker. I know that's not what you meant, but could do both. Should I give him one dangling strap like from in the 90s? Maybe I should do that. You don't remember that, guys. That was like a whole thing. You wear coveralls, but you undo one strap. And that's how people knew you were cool. Anybody remember that? Oh, Rise of Skywalker. Which was pretty disappointing. You probably were actually, Parker. You just were too young to care. I think you would have been alive for that, though. I'm sure Fox remembers that. Chantel probably remembers that. Unless it was a regional thing, then maybe Chantel wouldn't. Wait, are we okay? Sorry. Rise of Skywalker. It was so bad. Are we talking Rise of Skywalker or the coverall thing that I just brought up? Because I feel like it could apply to both. Which oh, okay. I think you understood what I meant. Either that or I missed something and I don't know what you're referring to with the show comment. I think one of the biggest problems with Rise of Skywalker is making it to round out the trilogy was also what they were trying to do. And it didn't really need rounding out in the first place. Big ass wrench for Luigi. Well, okay, so that's the thing, Parker, is it should have just resolved the sequel trilogy, but they tried to make it resolve Star Wars as a whole. And I think that the whole thing sucked. Like, no too bad. That's the most disappointed I've ever been coming out of anything Star Wars related. Was that movie? I really wasn't. I really didn't dig it. But what maybe pissed me off the most is they tried to wrap itself around the original trilogy, specifically Return of the Jedi, like a cancer. And so its shittiness almost retroactively to me brings down the original trilogy a little bit, because it's sort of like, it's like, no, that wasn't finished. That was an incomplete story. Now we're gonna finish it for you. And that just rubbed me the wrong way so bad. The fact that I still haven't seen Rise of Skywalker a second time, I think also speaks volumes. Like, I'm old school. I still love buying Blu-rays and stuff like that. I'm all for the physical media. I own all the other Star Wars movies. That movie's free on Disney Plus, and I still haven't brought myself to watch it again. Also, though, I do feel obliged to throw out there, if anybody watching was a fan, that's fine. You're allowed to like it. Whenever I shit too hard on a movie, I kind of worry sometimes I'm breaking somebody's heart. Like the stuff you like, guys. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it is what they did, but it was like, they should have just kept him as the main antagonist. He could still have redeemed himself in some of the end, but they should have, instead of bringing, because basically, I thought killing Snoke in Jedi was actually a cool move. I thought that was unexpected, and I was glad they did it. And it pissed a lot of people off because they don't like being surprised when they go to Star Wars movies. But I was all for it. But then they basically just replaced him, because the first mandate of Rise of Skywalker was, okay, we have to undo everything that happened in the last movie. And whether you like that last movie or not, it happened. So deal with it. Pick up the ball and roll with it, you know? Sometimes they do, or sometimes they just do a shot-for-shot remake of it. Yeah. Well, and okay, I'm really liking Mandalorian. I enjoyed Boba Fett's return in it. What I wanted from a Boba Fett movie that they kept teasing was to kind of do something similar to Dread, where it's just a really simple story. It's him on a mission, and he's got his helmet on the entire time. I think that the only reason I'm a bit more forgiving is because they kind of already blew that anyway in uh, Attack of the Clones, taking some of his mystery away. So I'm like, okay, well, we've already blown that. So if you can maybe give me something interesting with him then, and I liked him in it, so I'm down to give it a shot, and I'll be excited to give it a shot once it comes out. Um, but he's the perfect example of a character we didn't need to know anything about. Yeah, so I was saying, drop him in a drop him in a situation. Just and you could even make him more redeemable if you wanted to. Still, like like he's sent on a mission to do one thing, and he ends up inadvertently or deliberately helping somebody else along the way or something, right? Like they could have had their cake and ate it too a little bit. Yeah, Book of Boba Fett. Uh, which performers are you referring to, Fox? Oh, right, yeah. Yeah. But wait, is that what happened? Okay, I mean, I know that happened over the course of the trilogy, but I think they did have. Or actually, that's right too. There were rumors of like extensive reshoot. That's where actually, yeah. You're right. I think Book of Boba Fett has a lot of potential. It's not what I would have wanted from a Boba Fett movie, but like I said, the damage is already done as far as killing the mystery. So I'll let them roll with it and see what they come up with. But in a perfect world, I think we would have kept him mysterious. And in fairness to Disney, Lucas did kind of start the trend a little bit with characters like Boba Fett, and even like C-3PO. Like having the droids in the prequels, I get, but why you had to explain how C-3PO was built and everything was kind of like or even how they met. They should have just been buddies from the beginning. I actually never really fully understood the annoyance about Captain Phasma, though. How she was underused, we didn't get used. Like, well, whoever said that she was gonna, like, people just saw her, she looked cool. They're like, oh, this will be fun, and then she wasn't in it, but she did more than Boba Fett did in that original trilogy, and everyone was happy just for him looking cool. See, I didn't even really. Well, okay. Maybe there was an intended payoff there that never happened because obviously whatever was set up in whatever direction JJ or anybody thought they were going in that when they made that first movie didn't end up happening. So who the hell knows if that was something they intended to pay off. But I didn't take it as any significant thing that needed to be paid off necessarily. I think it was an interesting direction they could have gone for sure, but I got the impression she was never really intended to be anything more than what we got from her. Was it all in the droid's head, Fox? Yeah, that was that was even George himself said that in the beginning. And there's actually an interview with Mark Hamill when he was promoting, I'm pretty sure, Return of the Jedi, and he said that George has an idea for 2 more trilogies, and I would only appear in the final scene of number 9 if he ever makes it, and the only characters to appear in all 9 would be the droids. Does Yoshi have a saddle? He has a saddle, right? Oh shit, forgot his arms. Give him like T-Rex arms. Sounds like the X-Files music. Tiny bit. Wait, what about Boba Fett's origins? What did I miss there? Alright, let's ink it. It's a bit of a mess in some ways, but we're going for it. Oh, right, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that segment of the holiday special is actually on Disney Plus. I think somebody told me that. And they don't call it the holiday special, but there's like, I think it's whatever the name of the animated segment was in the holiday special. He had already been designed and created for the movie, though. Alright, here's a fun fact. Do you guys want to know who technically actually created Boba Fett? Considering George initially never gave him... Okay, technically George Lucas is the creator. I'll have to give him credit for that. But he... initially he wasn't anything other than a design. Yeah, it's the best part of it for sure. Nope, not the toy company. I mean the actual, like the person that created it. Created the design. Don't have to know his name if you can tell me something else that they've done. But it was a concept artist that became a director. Nope. Spielberg was already a director at that point. Do we give up? Is anybody frantically looking it up? This sounds very horror movie-ish. It won't feel as obscure when you hear how mainstream the person actually is. Joe Johnston was the concept artist that created Boba Fett. I think he might have also designed the original AT-ATs, but I'm not positive. And he went on to direct The Rocketeer and Jurassic Park 3, actually, and Captain America, the First Avenger. And I want to say he did the original Jumanji, but I'm not sure if I'm right about that. You guys have all heard of him, just didn't know the name necessarily. Oh, we also did the Wolfman remake, which wasn't great, but not a horrible track record. Jurassic Park 3 wasn't great, but I mean, it wasn't completely irredeemable either. I think it very much misses the Spielberg flair, but arguably the script is better than Lost World, at least. In my opinion. Not a perfect script either, but moment that drove me insane actually in Jurassic Park 3. One of the things that irritated me the most about the game, these are the things that bug me the most in movies where this makes no sense, but also it didn't need to be there. So it could have been cut out and it wouldn't have created this weird issue. But, so, Jurassic Park 3, if you don't remember, kid and his stepdad are parasailing. They accidentally end up on Isla Nublar, and or Isla Snorna, I guess it is. And his mom and dad basically trick Alan Grant, Sam Neill, into coming back to the island, or well, it's actually not the island he's been on before, but they don't know that, to try to find him, right? Decent setup for a Jurassic Park movie. And when they get there, they find the abandoned parachute, and the body of the stepdad is there, but the kid's missing. And the stepdad was filming everything on a camcorder when it happened. So they pick up the camcorder, and they're like, "Oh, the batteries are dead." And this one guy goes, "Hang on, I got an idea." And then he takes out his flashlight and he unscrews it. He starts taking the batteries out of it. Now, right there, I think this is ridiculous because, like, that's his. He has to announce, "Don't worry, I got an idea." And his big idea is just to take batteries out of something else. But like nobody that's ever their TV remote stopped working has never thought of that before. Like, fucking genius. Yeah, good on you for announcing that, right? So just the dialogue attached to it sucks. But then, when you think about it more, and it doesn't take much thought, if you've ever seen a camcorder actually has like a battery pack designed for that camcorder that is rechargeable. You can't just stick some fucking D batteries into a camcorder and make it work. So it shitty dialogue and creates a plot issue that makes no sense. Could have easily been cut out. Maybe the thing just wasn't dead. Like, when they watch the video, you actually see the kid go, "Oh, the camera's still running," and he turns it off. So why is the battery even dead anyway? We would have believed the battery's still running. It hasn't been gone that long. I can accept things that don't always make sense as a conceit, because it might make the overall narrative better in some way, or more easily followed, or whatever. Like, sometimes those things make sense. Sometimes they're a necessary evil, but when they're not a necessary evil and you're doing them anyway, like, what the hell, man? Yeah, and but the thing wasn't running the entire time, and you could give me the argument that even if it's not running, the battery would technically run down. But I think that I have a much easier time believing that the battery didn't die than that they somehow magically retrofitted a couple of D Duracells to fit into a camera that is not meant for those batteries. I have another one of those moments in a more recent movie, but I don't know if I want to get into it for spoiler purposes. But I finally watched Wonder Woman 1984. And I'll say I didn't actually hate it. I thought it was an entertaining enough movie. I enjoyed watching it. But there's one major thing that's like, what the fuck were you thinking with that? And there's absolutely no reason it even had to be that way. Could have had the exact same script, except for this one detail that really kind of hurt things. See, I didn't even know that. I just knew that you wouldn't be able to connect it. What do you mean, Chantel? Like, you mean like when it's supposed to be a period movie and they're not consistent with it, or? But those I can forgive that though too, because sometimes those are just flubs on set and nobody necessarily realized it at the time. But theoretically, people read and reviewed this script, right? And also too, like, it's made by people that work with cameras every day. If anybody should have known that that wouldn't work, it'd be the people making that movie, right? Oh, okay. So you just mean general continuity errors? Yeah, there's loads of those. A funny one that I mentioned this in my storyboarding class most terms, so you guys might actually remember it. But it's not really a continuity error, but it's just a fun mistake. Is in an episode of Law and Order. Cop comes in to arrest somebody and he's holding a finger gun on him instead of an actual gun. And the guy's like, "Whoa, man." And it's probably, my guess is, like rehearsal footage or something that they decided was the better take, and then nobody noticed. Huh. There is actually an urban legend, going back to Star Wars. I don't know if this is true or not, because I don't know if I ever caught it. But that when Luke is getting out of the X-Wing near the end of A New Hope, right after they blow up the Death Star, and he's all excitedly yelling to everybody, he apparently yells Carrie instead of Leia. I remember hearing that when I was a kid, but I don't know if I ever... And the thing is, too, is that's probably something, if that was true, that's probably something George would have fixed. So it's not one that we would be able to see anymore. But that's the thing, I said Duracell Fox, but I don't actually think they show you the battery. I don't think there actually was product placement there. And if they wanted that, they could have just had them replace the batteries in the flashlight at some point anyway. I thought he did keep the head bonk. I thought that did stay in there. Because he actually added a deliberate head bonk in like Attack of the Clones or something. The Olive Garden stuff did make me laugh, though. God, not gonna lie. I don't hate product placement if it's done smart, and the only reason I say that is because, well, actually, first of all, on a business standpoint, I do understand it just on a more business perspective, just because like sometimes that's helping you pay for your movie. Sometimes like there's a special effects shot that's only in there because they let you do that, right? So I'm a little cynical about it in a lot of ways as well, but I can also I get it. Just as I hate it when it's like very much in your face. One of the worst ones to me is in iRobot, when he like opens up the box of the shoes. Like there's no reason for this. He stares at it, thing of beauty, and you have the close up, and then he puts them on, and then he holds them up, and he's like Converse All Star, circa 2006, and it's like that's cringy, right? But I don't mind more subtle product placement just because I think sometimes it makes it feel a bit more real. Like somebody drinking like Clack Cola isn't going to be as believable as somebody drinking Coca-Cola, right? Like it's real world stuff. It was like when Marvel Comics was kind of blowing up in the 60s, part of it was that they were using real world locations and stuff instead of DC's Metropolis and Gotham and everything, and it made it feel more relatable. And I think product placement, when done well, can kind of serve the same purpose. Okay, Vox. I shouldn't know if I'm remembering the KFC in Stranger Things. But Stranger Things, though, being such a nostalgically driven thing, I can... there's maybe some added purpose to that as well. See, I will argue, though, that the Power Rangers gag wouldn't have worked with a fictional restaurant, because the whole idea is that they're putting such ridiculous importance on this location because they don't actually know what it is, right? Like the bad guys and stuff. And I'm fully realize it might have been written in for the sake of product placement. Like maybe we didn't need it to be in a location like that at all, but I'll forgive a lot more if you make me laugh. Oh, really? Chantel? By the way, guys, originally, for the longest time, this was going to be a bit more gritty and real looking, and it was just going to be Mario sitting on Yoshi. And it was going to go full Jurassic Park Raptor on him. And I think it was about an hour ago that I was like, hey, no, let's embrace, let's keep it a bit more cartoony, and let's put Luigi and Peach in there as well. think the music might have stopped. I think it did. Let's fix it. What'd you think of Jupiter Ascending, by the way, Chantel? I haven't watched it yet. I've heard terrible and I've heard good. And I don't know what to think yet. I'm thinking it might be a drawing show for me. I'm definitely going to give it a shot, though. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, Jupiter Ascending. You mean... Okay, right, sorry. I was thinking of, the new Netflix show. What is the... Jupiter's Legacy is what I thought you were talking about. Okay, yeah, I wasn't too crazy on Jupiter Ascending. No worries. We all do it. What else have people watched recently? Both good and bad. Any recommendations? Any warnings? I watched Fear Street 1994 last night. It wasn't too bad. Bit of a throwback. How was that, Max? Okay. Are you a fan of the series in general? Well, lesson one is don't take them seriously. I liked the first Fast a lot when I was 14, 15, whatever age I was when it came out. But I outgrew it pretty fast. Thought it was pretty cheesy. Thought the plot was pretty cliched. Thought Um, it's essentially Point Break. Um, so I wasn't really too into it, and then never saw the second one. Then I saw, what's it called? Tokyo Drift on a plane once. Wasn't too into that either. And then I watched, I think it was maybe the fourth or the fifth one, because it was on TV and they said it was better. And I definitely got more into it. And then I started to, once it gets to a point where it's just, okay, don't take it seriously anymore. It's basically a superhero movie now. It's the Avengers, but with cars instead of superpowers. And I thought they were a lot more fun, and I can enjoy them for what they are now. But I still don't think I've seen the last one. I still don't think they're great, but I'm not opposed to watching them. I haven't seen the last one yet. The only one since the first movie that I've seen in theaters is the last one that Paul Walker was in, because everybody was hyping that one up so much. And in hindsight, I think it was just out of respect for Walker, because it was sad that he died. I thought the way they handled his send-off was really good, but yeah, it wasn't that interesting. Talking about Stranger Things, it sounds very Stranger Thingsy. Am I remembering right, Max, that you're a big Stranger Things fan? Or am I making that up? Good assessment, Fox. I agree with that. Oh, like they themselves are doing it? You know what I think is funny? Everyone, I feel like the stunt that gets the most talk about as being the most ridiculous in the Fast movies is when they drive the car from one building to another. But I actually think if you look at the trajectory of that car, I think that actually makes a lot more sense than most of the other stunts that they do. Because it goes from like a really high floor on one building to a much lower floor on the next one. So it is going down the entire time. And it's kind of like you're rolling the dice so you're not going to land against a floor instead of on the floor. But it's way more believable than some of the other stuff that they've done. I was right. I thought so. I too am a fan. Cool, Fox. Is that gonna go in the compilation that you're working on? The anthology? I forgot they do that in Cannonball Run. Well, the Cannonball Run's basically a cartoon, so I can cut it a bit more slack as well. Maybe even more slack, in fact. Nice. Are they all people from your writing class, Fox? All the Speed Racer. I need to rewatch Speed Racer. Okay. Something cool I found out today. I don't know if you would have overlapped at all with her, Fox. I feel like you might have, but I'm not sure. I also don't know if I'm remembering the pronunciation of the last name. It's Leah. She's French. Leah Miali or something like that. I'm blanking on the last name. If by some freak chance, Leah, that you're watching right now, I don't know if you ever watch any of these, but mention it in the chat. She she was a writer that ended up taking the art side of the comics class, just like you did, and she just had a graphic novel published that she wrote and drew herself. There's Mario. Honestly, Mario took way too long to ink. I'm gonna try to pick up the pace here a little bit. If you guys didn't assume as much, I actually tend to draw and ink a bit slower on the stream. I do otherwise. Mainly just because I stop to look at the chat every once in a while, and then if I go on a rant, I can talk and ink at the same time, but if I go in a rant mode, game over. Then I need to stop for a second. She definitely wasn't in your class, but I can't remember what class number she was in. I want to say it was like 2-3 years ago, but maybe it was even longer now. That'd be cool, Fox. And I'd be happy to give feedback, pointers, help you in the right direction with any of that. Um, if you're so inclined. Oops. Actually, you know what? Here's a question for all you guys. I haven't seen this myself, but I was reminded of it today, and I want to check it out. Has anybody ever seen the movie Dreamscape from 1984 with Dennis Quaid, Kate Capshaw, and Max von Sydow, and the Warriors guy from Warriors? I don't remember what his real name is. It's kind of Inception before Inception, but looks like a lot more imaginative. Go for it, Max. Always happy to help. Yeah, it looks very cool. I saw if you've ever gone to the website Trailers from Hell, I first heard about it on there. And I was curious then to see it, but then I kind of forgot about it. And then I was reminded of it again today because I follow Drew Struzan, the movie poster artist, and I guess it was an anniversary or something for it, so he shared his poster art. Poster is very Indiana Jonesy. Happy to help too with the comic as well. By the way, Max, if you're gonna get back to that. Oh wait, I did respond, Fox. I said that would be really cool if you went back to Sound Machines and said I would be happy to look at stuff and help with feedback or pointers or any way that I can help. If you're so inclined to ask when you start doing it. And the follow-up question was Dreamscape. I'm curious if anybody's seen it. I guess it's not a follow-up question when it has nothing to do with the original question, but you know. Still accepting answers. Have you guys seen the Muppet movie, the one that Jason Segel wrote and co-starred in? Amy Adams. Chris Cooper plays the bad guy in that, and at one point, him and all the other bad guys are actually going maniacal laugh, ha ha ha, maniacal laugh, as if they're like it's almost like they're reading the screen direction on the script. The trying to survive stage, as in money or heat, or is there some other life-threatening issue that's come along? arms weren't going to be super hairy, but now they are, to cover a mistake. Because that's how you do that. When did they change the voice of Kermit? I don't remember noticing it as anything weird in that movie. But I never watched any of the newer show they did a couple years ago. That was supposed to be kind of like The Office. I noticed in the trailer for the new Space Jam movie, Bugs' voice sounds really fucked. It doesn't sound anything like any version of Bugs. That might have been after the movie I'm thinking of then, maybe? Why did he get fired? I don't know if I heard about that. Well, Disney's been involved with the Muppets for quite a while now. They bought them back in the 90s, didn't they? Second guessing myself on that now, but I kind of think they did. I remember going to a Muppets thing at Disneyland when I was a kid. Okay. I think that's what I'm going by because I think Muppets Christmas Carol, which I used to watch every Christmas, I think has the Disney logo at the beginning. But maybe Disney wasn't creatively involved, they were just a distribution arm. Oh, wait, I think I might remember that. So is that the one where, like, they fired him immediately, or he even resigned, or like I can't remember. I mean, it's not that unique from a lot of these situations, really, I guess. But like, I think there was something where it was like nothing was proven yet, and there was reason to question the validity of a claim or something like that, but he either immediately stepped down or they immediately fired him, or a little bit of both. And it may very well have been true, and that was all just to save face. Because as soon as you step down, they kind of stopped talking about it a little bit, but I can't remember. Or I might be getting mixed up with something else. Or actually, you know what? I'm getting mixed up. I think it was Kevin Nash. I think that's what happened. The voice of Elmo. I think he got accused of something. Claimed it wasn't true. And it seemed like his claims might have been legit, but it was too late. I think it's one of those things though too where, especially when you're working with kids, is even if you're innocent, as soon as you're accused of something like that, nobody wants to take a chance with you anymore, right? And I wouldn't be any different if somebody was accused of something. I'd be pretty nervous having them around kids, even if I had reason to doubt the claims. I wouldn't want to risk putting a kid in danger. But I think I am remembering that right though. I think that is what happened with Nash. And I don't think the accusations had anything to do with kids, but because he works with kids, you worry, right? Yeah, if I'm remembering right again. Posture check. Alright, keeping the Muppet theme going. But getting off of creepy puppeteers. Who are our favorite Muppets? Mine was always Gonzo. He is the classic. Kermit was always my favorite part of Sesame Street. I don't remember ever really watching a lot of Sesame Street, but when I did, he was the favorite part. But full-on Muppets, it was always Kermit. Or, sorry, Gonzo. This music is giving me Lock and Key vibes. I was like Animal as well. Not a boy from the street. I don't remember a lot of Sesame Street being on, but I always liked the Muppets, and I think my parents liked the Muppets as well. Well, I know they liked them to an extent because I know we watched the movies together and stuff. I think they had an appreciation for the show. I'm actually excited to. I've seen very little of the original Muppet show, and that's on Disney Plus. That'll be a drawing show at some point for sure. And I really like Muppets Tonight in the 90s. It didn't last very long, but that was really good. Anybody watch Muppet Babies when they were a kid? I'm looking squarely at Mark, Chantel, and Fox for that one. Muppet Babies, they make your dreams come true. There was an episode of Muppets Tonight where there was like something going on backstage, so they need to fill the time. So somebody was like, "Hey, I got this episode of Muppet Babies," and then somebody else was like, "I got this rerun of Seinfeld," and they crash into each other, and the tape gets all tangled up. And then so they play it, and it's Seinfeld Babies, and it's like they're doing the contest episode, but instead of what Seinfeld's actually about, it's about like shitting themselves instead. Good shit. I think I like Gonzo just because he was so weird. And he fucks a chicken, that's cool. Muppet Babies also used a lot of live action clips from movies. Like they did a lot of parodies and stuff. I think the first time I saw Darth Vader was actually on Muppet Babies before I actually saw Star Wars for the first time. Apparently there's a new Muppet Babies actually on TV. I think it's 3D animated, but I've never watched it. I had all the Muppet Babies toys from McDonald's, I remember too, for like the longest time. I don't think I caught Spaceballs till after Star Wars, but it is surprising because I did really like Mel Brooks when I was young. And my parents were fans too, so I don't know why it took me so long to get to Spaceballs. design that made no sense, but it's cool. No one's gonna notice as long as I don't mention it. Shit, I already mentioned it. Damn it. You'd have these 3 lines. That's how you know it's a bullet clip. Fun facts. Designing this gun somewhat based on a memory of a squirt gun I used to have that I know was designed after a real world machine gun. That is my mental reference as I draw this. With some additional liberties. But no ruler. Me and a friend earlier were talking about Small Soldiers. You guys remember that movie? I haven't seen it forever, but I know I liked it. And I know I saw it when I was a bit older and was a bit more aware of the flaws, but still had a lot of fun with it. Itchiness. When I finally did see Spaceballs, by the way, I was so excited for it. Because by then I was a Star Wars fan, so I figured I'm going to get all these jokes. And I love Mel Brooks. Sorry if my head's in the way. Getting all intense over here. That's pretty awesome. Wow. I like that waiting for the VHS to rewind is the greater achievement than watching the movie twice in terms of staying up. But I guess once the movie's going, it's pretty easy to stay awake. Such nostalgia feels thinking about VHS tapes, video stores. going to a sleepover at a friend's house when I was a kid. And the friend's dad, because he lived in Langley, but the friend's dad was working downtown or Tri-Cities or whatever, so picked me up on the way to the house. It was going to be a sleepover. We were going to rent some movies and stuff. So I got put in charge of, alright, pick the movies, Dylan. We stopped at the video store on the way back. And if I'm remembering right, I picked Waterworld and Die Hard with a Vengeance. Sleepover movies. After this music, I'm not in full control of the music choices tonight, guys. I also just remember too, one time when I was in elementary school, a friend Daizo was borrowing movies from me a lot because he had a lot of movies. And so as a joke, I made, just for the fun of it, I came up with a fake movie store title for us, and I created like a membership card and everything, and gave it to him. And I remember, like, he took it really seriously. The next time he went to borrow a movie, he, like, pulled the card out. I'm like, you don't need to actually. See, I would like, I want to do these things, guys, but then I get flagged. And potentially taken down. Otherwise, that's exactly what I would have done. And I would have started out with that, do the Mario, do. Almost done. Parker, I assumed you had left because you stopped talking for a while, but I wasn't actually sure. I thought maybe you were just like engrossed in whatever you were working on. But glad to have you back. Ah. I watched Parker work his way through most of Arkham Asylum last night. had to keep him muted while I finished my writing sesh for the night. And then had to do it again to answer the phone. But otherwise. No, I get that. Sometimes when I'm assessing how long I think one of these streams is going to take based on like when I'm planning the detail or whatever, I forget to factor in the amount I'm going to be talking and potentially like stopping drawing for a few minutes here and there. Yeah, which were all very cool. What's the homework for tonight, Parker? And actually, I meant to comment earlier, Max, but yeah, copyright is the bane of the streamer's existence. I mean, like, I'm glad it's a thing, because I wouldn't want somebody stealing my shit either. But I do kind of wish I could just, like, cross-promote, set something up. People can buy the songs if they like them. And then I can play them. I think that'd be cool. So was it a fake business that they created terrible branding for, or is it an existing business that has terrible branding? What was the brand? Watch Outhouse cartoons. Fuck. It would be. Do you pick the business, or do they give you one? Hey, Mars. Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? Which comic book store, Parker? Gotcha, gotcha. Big Pete's. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. Is that in North Van? Okay. Oh, I didn't know there was one right at the key there. Okay. Didn't know you did crochet, Mars. Okay, Mars, are you still in Van, or are you back home now? Okay. right, actually, and we've talked since the pandemic started. You told me that actually. Just forgot. Are you in fire, Mars? Is that what that emoji's for? Oh yeah, that'd be really cool. Well, right now it's pretty fucking hot here too, Mars. That makes sense. If I was ever gonna work retail, I would want it to be a comic book store. And if I was ever like rich and famous and in position to start a restaurant, like a lot of rich and famous people do, I would probably open a comic book store instead of a restaurant. At the moment, yeah, but we were past that last week, Mars. We were into the 40s last week. Thanks for the clarification, Parker. Yeah, I get it, Mars. I know, I know. I'm just saying that if you came here to escape the heat, you would have been pissed off for a little while there, at least. music freaked me out there for a second. Here, I mean, I had class on one of them. I was at my parents' on one of them. Don't have AC, but managed to keep it cooler than I managed to here. Tried to watch movies. Had a headache for a lot of it. The weather and the accent. I think that means, Mark, that you were working a lot harder than they were. What did you do on those days, Max? Ah, shit. Cracked right into the... It's apparently a see-through umbrella. Gonna try and hide that mistake through the miracle of cross-hatching. Watch just hatch it. Look at that. No one will be the wiser. Ha ha ha. Fluffy, frilly, lacy parasol. Okay. How little are we talking? Are we talking like a wading pool or like a pool? I just realized you memed me. I don't got friends, I got family. Friend, well, Mike comes on the stream sometimes. Sent me that meme that I put on the Discord earlier, where I was like, "Was I a good meme?" No, you were annoying almost instantly. I laughed pretty good when I saw that. That was pretty great. Okay, but it would do the trick. I drank a lot of water. I ate a lot of ice cream sandwiches. I wore as little clothing as I could get away with. And I had as many fans going as was possible as well. Kept my office window wide open and my patio door wide open, which I think helped, but it might have also just let in all the hot air. I don't really know. That's my excited. I'm almost done. So, not that I'm enjoying myself, but I am feeling the heat. And I was hoping it wouldn't be too long of one because I do have to be up sort of early-ish tomorrow. Not that much, not really any earlier than I often get up, but early enough that when I'm obligated to get up that early, it's a bit of a pain. Alright, let's do the spot blacks, and we can call it done. Oh wait, let's use a brush for the facial hair first. Wow. Showing off now, are we, Fox? I think that's probably why my parents' place was... So they have, like, not full-on air conditioning, but, like, the furnace has, like, a regulator or something. I can't remember what the hell Mom said, but it was, like... It kind of helps. But also, they're a one-floor house, and I'm on the 4th floor of a condo complex. So I think that's probably the biggest reason. Alright, valid. Yeah. I might invest in an air conditioner, but it's sort of a tough sell though, because as much as I would have loved to have air conditioning last week, we get on that level so infrequently that I'm not sure that's where I want to spend my money at the moment, you know? But if we do hit that temperature again, it's going to piss me off. Nothing annoys me more than wanting to get work done and not being able to do it. And then it was even hard to be comfortable just watching a movie. I'm like, yeah, I can't think straight. I'm just going to watch a movie. And then even that was hard to get comfortable during. That's my feeling on it. Mars. But then at the same time, you know, climate change is a thing. Maybe this will start happening more often. Because even now, like the heat, like I can manage the heat right now, but if I had AC, I would have it on. So it's not like it wouldn't get use, but well, I've got several fans. The thing is with the fans, like, they kind of just blow the warm air around. I see what you did there, Parker. I just remembered a detail I meant to add to Mario and Luigi that I forgot. I will do that when I'm done these spot blacks. When I'm wrapping this all up. You know, I got to see, not to brag, but I got to see Don Rickles live before he died. He was playing at the, I think it was the River Rock Casino. I went and saw him with my dad. Dad's always been a fan of him, and he figured he's not going to live too much longer. We got to see him while we can, and he was right. I think he might have been just a year or two later that he died. His whole shtick was always that he was just like this curmudgeon and somewhat racist and just mean to everybody, but apparently in real life he was actually very nice and very respectful to everybody. And actually, even at the end of the show, you kind of get a sense of that because he kind of turns off the character and thanks everybody for coming. And Mars, thanks for coming by. Nice talking to you again. Have a good night. Well, we're going back to the Batman well a bit, but Danny DeVito as Mario. I say that sort of as a joke for live action. Although we definitely could play him. But I think for a voice, he would actually be really good for Mario, probably. For Luigi, I'm thinking tall and lanky. Jim Carrey actually kind of comes to mind. John Krasinski actually looks a little bit like him, I guess, with the nose. I can see that. I can see Jack Black as Mario. I could see Kristen Bell as Peach too, actually. Did anybody watch Veronica Mars back when that was on? I like Veronica Mars. I could definitely see Sacha Baron Cohen as Luigi. I liked Veronica Mars quite a bit. It was pretty fun. Kristen Bell's really good in it. A really likable character. Lots of nerd references. Kind of a cool film noir-ish vibe, despite the setting, you know. I'm gonna tell you a story line from one episode that I always think of when I think of Veronica Mars, because I thought it was a really clever storyline. There's this kid at the school that has a crush on Veronica, so he wants to, and he knows that she works for this PI firm. So as an excuse to talk to her, he makes up a story, so that basically to give her a case to solve. Batista is totally like that. So he makes up the story about how his dad ran out on him and he wants to find him and yada yada yada. So Veronica creates this fake lottery thing, sends it out to everybody in the phone book with the same name, basically, so that theoretically this is kind of just her first kick of the can. Like she's like, this probably won't work. Might change her name, yada yada yada. But this is the standard first thing they'll try. And if they want to claim their money, they'll have to come forward, and then boom, we found them, right? And so she does that, and then soon after that, finds out that the guy was full of shit, and he just wanted to talk to her, wasn't trying to find his dad, and all that stuff. So she gives him shit for it, expectedly, and he says, well, I mean, like, hey, look, my dad really did run out of me, yada yada, blah 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 blah, but or no, actually no, sorry, he says that, sorry, my dad's actually dead, but I just want to talk to you, I'm sorry. So she gives him shit for lying about it, and then all of a sudden she hears from one of the people, and it turns out that the guy thought his dad was dead because that's what his mom always told him. Turned out the dad was actually trans. The mom was shitty about it and basically forbid him to ever talk to his son again, and the kid had no idea. So lied to Veronica to try to fake a case for her to solve, just to talk to her, and accidentally gave her a real case to try to figure out. And I always thought that was a really cool twist. I really like that a lot. Thanks, Intane. What about Luigi? I lost track. Reaper, who are we even talking about? Mora, Diva, Lit Bit of Echo? I don't even know. I've lost track. I'm gonna sign this thing. There we go. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I didn't fill in this part. Cool. Oh, that's what we're talking about. Okay. Thank you, Parker. Alright. That's it for tonight, guys. I'll be back on Thursday for another original one. And it's a me, a Mario. I meant to say that earlier. And then next week, I'm doing one of my own. I'm down to 3 on my current request list. 2 of them, I haven't fully decided what I want to do with them yet. So, and then I got another one that I just decided to put off for a week. Thanks, Fox. Thanks, Max. Yeah, so it's going to be one off my own personal request list for fan art next week, and which actually weirdly came up in comics class today. And it is a comic, but it's not one that comes up very often, so still. Thanks, Max. Nice talking to you again. Yeah, anyway. See you guys next time. Have a good night, everybody.